Hello everyone, it's the Strawman himself, and today I'll be doing a review/tutorial for the Metro Overhaul mod. Now, I must say, this mod's pretty cool. I've been looking forward to a mod like this since I started playing the game about a year ago. Basically what the mod does is it allows you to bring your subway lines above ground, which was not available in the vanilla game. Before this mod, if you want to sort of simulate this idea of above ground metros, you would use train lines with subway train assets from the Steam Workshop. Well, with this mod, you don't have to do that any longer. So before you download this mod, be sure to also download the required items listed here. It's the train and train stations converter, which also comes with the prefab hook. It makes everything possible. The transport line rendering fix, the Metropolitan Depot, which is basically the subway equivalent of the road depots or the bus depots that you have in the vanilla game. It also comes with these two stations, the elevated metro station and the ground metro station. These are just the ones that come with the mod. I wouldn't say it's required, but it's actually definitely good to have them. They do have other versions of these in the Steam Workshop already, which is good, and the spawn points fix. Once you've downloaded the mod, I actually recommend going into the Steam Workshop and downloading some of these assets. They've already released some pretty good ones. I'm going to give a little bit of shout out to Bisquagelhausen. His name pops up a lot in a lot of Cities Skylines YouTubers gameplay because he just creates a lot of great content. I definitely recommend getting these because these look amazing. I've only gotten the R160, but I'll probably end up getting all of them. Okay, so I created these three little population centers in order for me to show you what makes this mod so great. For Jefferson over here, I'll be using the ground metro stations. For Harding, I'll be using the overground, the elevated ones. And in Monroe, I'll be using just a standard underground station. And I'll be connecting all three of them. Now before we get started on building our connections between the three centers, I'll want to show you guys the different tracks that the game has for us. Okay, so we're going to start with the concrete one, concrete and fence track. Bring that out a little bit. As you can see here, concrete ties and a fence around it. Let's do steel and fence track. Alright, you can see here wooden ties. Looks like a little bit more of like an older style. You can also notice the third rails in the middle. Those are pretty cool. Alright, we're gonna do the unfenced ones. You see here, just look more standard, no fence. And if you notice, the fences between the concrete ones and the steel ones are also different. Looks like the steel one is chain link. Right, we're gonna do the steel one with no fence. Looks pretty cool. Alright, and then the elevated ones. This is where they get kind of different. Now they also, they do have fences on the elevated ones too. So you're gonna do concrete, fence track, and elevated. Let's go up 9 meters. Alright, as you can see here, that's with the fence. Looks pretty modern. But here's where it gets different. You get the steel one, and as you can see, it looks a little bit more old-fashioned. I would actually compare this one to maybe the ones you would see in New York or in Chicago. I think it looks pretty cool. And then if you do them without the fences, they basically just look like this. Very, very normal. I honestly think they did a great job designing this. Looks like something that the developers that made the game would have just released themselves, but I mean, this mod has actually been in the works for a while from what I've heard, but I'm really impressed with this. Now that I've shown off the different kind of tracks that this mod has, I'm going to start building. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and plop down the depot. You see right here, Metropolitan Depot. Plop it down right here. I want it facing outwards like that. There we go. Cool. And as you can see, it comes with two connections. I assume that's for if there's two completely separate lines and you want to connect them to the same depot. That'd be really cool. Alright, so now that you have the depot there, I'm actually going to create my first station. We're over here in Jefferson, where we will be making the ground metro station. I'm going to use the one that comes with the mod, the classic ground metro. Plop it down, and let's take a look at it. looks pretty cool. It's pretty standard. Say it looks like most ground metro stations you'd see on any subway line in any urban center. So I pretty much like that. That's pretty cool. Alright, and I moved over here to Harding, where I'll be doing the above ground metro station. Now I'm not going to use the one that comes with the mod, or the one in the required items, and I'll show you why. The one, it has basically roads under it and through it. And I mean, that's pretty nice if you're doing it maybe in like a city. Let me plop that down just to show you. Yes, it goes right under it. Now, that's cool, but I don't really want that. I would do that if I was doing something like an elevated one in the city, but I'm just doing an elevated station. So I downloaded one from the Steam Workshop. And it's the Kiel station. I believe it's modeled after one in Toronto. Alright, plop it down. And it looks pretty cool. I like it. And lastly, over here in Monroe, I'll be just putting down a standard subway station. I'm gonna be using this one, the Soundproof Metro, which I think looks pretty cool. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use this one, the Moscow Metro. I think it looks good. And it's right on center too, which is also a big thing for me. So I've decided over here in Jefferson is where I'm gonna create my first connection. Go back into transport, and right here it says Metro Tunnel, but since you have the mod, it actually allows you to just create normal metro tracks depending on what sort of level you're on. I'm going to be using steel fence track for over here. And I'll actually be connecting the depot to the station real quickly. But I'm going to make this first connection. So I'm going to go through here. Alright, I'm going to turn off snapping just so I can make this work. This kind of style I'm doing here is very common to what you see in a lot of cities that have these kind of metro lines above ground. One in particular this reminds me of is in DC on I-66. The Metro Orange line goes right through the middle of the freeway, and I'm very much a fan of that. So this mod actually allows me to replicate that. Alright, I'm going to go over here. Now I'm not going to go all the way because I'm actually going to be doing an elevated flyover. Alright, go that there. Turn snapping back on. And connect it to 180 degrees, nice and smooth. See here, it looks really good. And adding the fences in there, it makes it even better. Okay. I decided that I'm going to be using the concrete tracks for the elevated flyover. I just think it would look better. Alright, turn snapping off. And I'm going to go 8, 8, 4, 8, 4. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go maybe 4 and 1 to 9 meters. Looks very smooth. Alright, go out a little bit more, and then I'm going to create a giant turn. I'm going to run it right next to the road. And let me see. Oh, it's also important to pay attention to how high up your elevated metro stations are. I think of all the ones that we have, they're all 9 meters, so just make sure they connect up like that. Alright, so we made that first connection there. It looks really nice and smooth. And if you take a look at it, it goes right through the trees. I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, and from this station, I'll be connecting it up with Monroe, which means I'm going to have to go underground. And here's where I'll show you how well that works. I'm going to try to make this as smooth as possible, so I'm probably just going to skip right over this road. And I'm going to go... Oh, no. Okay. I guess that works. Yeah, that's perfect. And I'm going to go straight into there. Alright, cool. We made the connection. And one thing I love about this mod is it will render the tunnels, and it also renders the stations. So if you're using first person mod, it will work. You will be able to see the whole route as you go through it. I'm going to use steel and not fenced track. I think that looks more normal for like a depot. right? I'll just curve it around nicely. Good enough for me. Then I'm going to go over here and connect it right on in. Perfect. Alright, now that we've connected the 3 stations, I'm going to create the Metro line. Go into here, use the normal Metro line tool, and since we have all the mods installed for it, it will work perfectly. Now, any second you should see a subway pop out of here. There we are. Oh, there we are. Okay. Alright, it's pulling into the station over there. This is the M100, and I actually did some research into this. This is the train that they use in the Helsinki Metro, and it's also orange. Now, if you see this one looks green, that's because what this mod does, like a lot of the other methods of public transport in the vanilla game, it will make the train the same color as the line that you put it on. So I'm gonna make this orange like this, which is basically what the Helsinki Metro one looks like. See, it moves along pretty nice. Alright, so now that I've shown you basically how the mod works and successfully connected 3 little areas with basically the 3 different types of train stations, I'm gonna bring this video to a close. I really recommend getting this mod. It's awesome. I think it really adds to the game, and I really wouldn't be surprised if in some updates in a few weeks or maybe even a few months from now that we see something like this being put into the vanilla game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.